In 2021, the United Nations Climate Change Conference, commonly known as COP26, saw 250 Western organizations come together for a series of meetings and panel discussions. One common theme throughout the event, and which has been a big talking point by government officials across the world since, was the notion that African nations need to reduce their fossil fuel use. According to the environmentalist lobby, climate change is so serious that underdeveloped countries, which are mostly located in the global south, should not use carbon-emitting energy technologies, which, ironically, Western states themselves used to get rich over the last 2 centuries. Many academics in ivory towers support this position. Take, for example, University College London professor Mariana Mazzucato, who, during the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, theorized about the possibility of using what she called climate lockdowns to avoid a climate emergency. Under this scenario, Mazzucato believes that governments might need to limit private vehicle use, ban the consumption of red meat, keep oil companies from drilling, and impose extreme energy-saving measures in order to avoid what she calls a climate crisis. It seemingly doesn't matter that the pandemic lockdowns caused 100 million people who live mostly in the developing world to slide back into extreme poverty, which is defined as living on less than $1.90 per day. While this view is obviously inhumane, it is also just flat out wrong. Keeping people poor by refusing them the opportunity to use fossil fuels will not help the environment in the long term. In reality, people can only afford to care about the environment once they have enough income to cover their basic needs. If people and their families' survival depends on burning dirty fuels, cutting down a rare tree, or killing an endangered animal, the chances are we'd all take these actions. The Environmental Kuznets Curve hypothesis supports this view. It suggests environmental damage increases in tandem with economic growth, but only until a certain level of income is reached. Once people are wealthy enough not to have to worry about day-to-day survival, environmental degradation slows, then reverses, and ecosystems begin to recover. In many ways, the environment is what economists could call a luxury good. Scientists have found that the EKC hypothesis holds true in all manner of environmental domains, including water pollution, carbon dioxide emissions, nitrogen, sulfur, biodiversity, and deforestation. In the case of deforestation, the environmental scientist Jesse Osbell has suggested that once a country reaches a GDP per capita of around $7,000, deforestation stops and afforestation occurs. This phenomenon has been observed in recent decades in China, India, Russia, and Vietnam, where forest area is beginning to increase. Also, it has been going on for much longer in North America and Europe, where there are more trees today on both of those continents than there were a century ago. Yet in the world's 2 poorest regions, Africa and Latin America, deforestation continues. Therefore, with this in mind, if Western environmentalists really wanted to take care of the environment, they should want African states and people to become rich as quickly as possible. Once that happens, all peoples can afford to care about the natural environment and seek to protect it. The only other option would be to keep the world's poor stuck in poverty, a tragic, inhumane, and hypocritical stance to take. Magatte Wade, director of the Africa Center for Prosperity at the Atlas Network, put it best when she wrote, "Africans deserve prosperity as much as everyone else, but we can't get there without significant increases in power generation. A forced and hasty shift away from fossil fuels would cripple the continent's economies." Hopefully, ivory tower environmentalists will start listening to African voices like Wade's soon. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow the IATP on Twitter at _IATP. Also, hit the like and subscribe button below, and check out our website at www.theiatp.org.